morning, boys and girls. This is Miss DeBerry. I'm coming to you from our classroom. This is our classroom library. Miss Dawson has one on her side of the room. Hopefully you guys will get to come back to school and see that soon. We sure miss you all. In the meantime, we would like to do a few read-alouds with you. I'm going to read one today called My Mouth is a Volcano. It is written by Julia Cook and illustrated by Carrie Hartman. I hope you like it. It's one of our favorites. My name is Louie. People say I interrupt a lot. I don't think I do. I have a lot to say, and all of my words are very important to me. When other people talk, words just pop into my head. They slide down onto my tongue. My tummy starts to rumble, and then it starts to grumble. My words begin to wiggle, and they begin to jiggle. My tongue pushes all of my important words up against my teeth, and then I erupt. Words just explode out of my mouth. My mouth is a volcano. And here he is. He says, "Hey, guess what, you guys?" In class, my teacher says that when we want to say something, we are supposed to look at her, raise our hand, and wait until she calls on us. I tried that. After I waited patiently for what seemed like 62 years, my important words slid down from my head onto my tongue. And my tummy started to rumble, and then it started to grumble, and my words began to wiggle, and then they did the jiggle. My tongue pushed all of my important words into my teeth, and my volcano erupted. My teacher was less than pleased. She erupted me right back. "I know what you are saying is very important to you, Louie, but since it is not an emergency, you'll have to wait until I call on you." It was my volcano's fault. Oh, he said, "Teacher, I think we should have recess all day. I'm hungry too. Can we go to lunch now?" That was his important stuff. At daycare, we were sitting on the rug listening to Miss Polly read a story about planting trees. All of a sudden, I thought about the time my grandpa and I planted 6 trees in his front yard. What do you think's going to happen? My important words slid down from my head and onto my tongue. My tummy started to rumble, and it started to grumble. My words began to wiggle, and they began to jiggle. My tongue pushed all of my important words into my teeth, and my volcano erupted. And he said, "Hey guys, once I planted zillions of trees with my grandpa." It's a lot of trees. I got a timeout. It was my volcano's fault. During dinner, Mom and Dad were talking about paying the bills. Then I thought about my friend Bill. Bill can blow a bubble inside of a bubble when he chews 2 pieces of bubble gum. Now that is really important. My important words about Bill slid down my head onto my tongue. My tummy started to rumble, and then it started to grumble. My words began to wiggle, and they began to jiggle, and my tongue pushed all of my very important words into my teeth, and my volcano erupted. And he said, "Hey Mom, Bill can blow a bubble in a bubble with his gum." "Louie," my mom said, "you interrupted again. If somebody else is talking and you don't have an emergency, you have to wait your turn." "But Mom, my words, they slid down from my head and onto my tongue, and then my tummy starts to rumble." "Louie, you did it again." I got sent to my room. She said I was rude. It was my volcano's fault. There he is going up the steps. The next day at school was a very important day. I had been waiting for about 126 weeks to be the star student of my class. And this is my special moment. I got to share a poster with my class that had pictures of all my favorite things, and here Louis is going in with all of his favorite things. I stood up in front of my class and I began to tell them about the time I went fishing. Halfway through my story, Richard started to tell everyone about when he went deep sea fishing in Mexico. His story must have been better than mine because everyone started to look at him. He was stealing my important words. Richard, said my teacher, you just interrupted Louis. Please wait until he has finished talking, and then he might call on you. I couldn't believe how rude that was of Richard. He erupted me. That really made me angry. He's very angry. Look at that face. After talking about my fishing trip, I started to explain the x-ray of my broken arm. Just as I was getting to the good part, Courtney started to tell the class about when she broke her leg. Courtney, said my teacher, you just interrupted Louis. Please wait until he is finished talking, and then he might call on you. I couldn't believe how rude that was of Courtney. She started telling right during my 15 minutes of fame. She ruined my important words. She almost stole my moment. When I got home, I told my mom about rude Richard and rude Courtney. Now you know how we all feel when you interrupt us, said my mom. I never thought about that. I just get so excited and my words just pop into my head. Then they slide down onto my tongue. My tummy starts to rumble and then it starts to grumble. My words begin to wiggle and then they do the jiggle. Then my tongue pushes all of my important words up against my teeth and I erupt. Words just explode out of my mouth. My mouth is a volcano. Maybe Richard and Courtney have volcanoes in their mouths too, my mom replied. I never thought of that. Well, son, the next time your important words are pushed into your teeth by your tongue, bite down hard and don't let them out. Then take a deep breath and push your words out through your nose. Then when it is your turn to talk, take a deep breath and breathe them back into your mouth. Will that work? I asked. Only if you make it work, said my mom. That night at the dinner table, my sister Sylvia was in the middle of one of her long girl stories when my important words began to slide down from my head and my volcano started to do its thing. Just as my tongue started to push my words out through my teeth, I bit down real hard. Then I breathed my words out through my nose. As soon as my sister finished talking, I took a deep breath and back in went the words. I was amazed that they had just hung around outside my mouth and didn't float away. Then I told my story and nobody got mad at me for interrupting. After that, I never erupted again. Well, except for the time Bill's bubble gum, got stuck in my hair, but that was a real emergency. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed your book. You will see Miss Dawson tomorrow. She will have a read aloud for you. And maybe in the meantime, you guys can pick out books that you might want to read to us sometime this year. See you soon.